You are listening to Food for Worms, the original True Grime podcast.
Food for Worms.
Were you on air, or were you more in like the PR department, like you were saying, like promoting at outings and whatever?
So I was doing a lot for my internship. I was doing a lot of PR stuff, and then I actually got promoted to assistant. What the hell was my title?
It's a good question.
I worked in. Why can't I think of this right now? I worked in promotions. I was assistant promotions coordinator. There we go.
There we go.
Yep, I got it. And so I did that, but I also on the side was learning stuff on air. So I would go in like on my off hours, like really late at night, and then I would record like little segments, and then I was able to keep those and then use them as like my profile. So when people are like, "Hey, do you have some clips that I can hear?" I'd be like, "Here you go."
Kind of like a portfolio type of thing. Yeah.
And then a lot of times we would need people to come in and do like the commercials and stuff. So I was able to do some of those. And so like hearing yourself on the radio is really weird.
Yeah.
Right.
Oh man, no. Hearing yourself recorded at all, like this isn't a radio, but the very first couple episodes this shit came out, I was like, oh god.
Yeah. Try editing it for 40 plus episodes. I hear my voice more than I hear most people, and it's a bummer.
Yeah.
There was like a super popular song I remember, and we used to do the intros to the song too. Like the staff members would randomly go in and do intros to the song. So I did an intro to the song, and it was so popular that I heard myself at least like 12 times a day, where I'd be like, "There I go again." The first time I was like, "Oh my god, that's me," and then I was like, "Oh god, this is me."
Yep. Yeah.
Like this bitch.
Yeah. Once you finally get to hear it, you don't want to hear it anymore.
Yep.
Yeah.
I DJ'd a little bit in college, so I.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, I was just like, I was the late night stoner guy that would just skateboard down at midnight and then throw on like punk rock and then like jazz music,
or he put on like a 17-minute song.
Oh yeah,
and
that
then
happened.
Wow.
And then go poop.
Yeah, no, or smoke cigarettes,
Yeah, smoke
or go smoke grass down by the river. Yeah, there's a Pink Floyd song that it's literally. I've talked about this on the podcast before, but it's literally water dripping and bells and whistles. for like 15, 16, 17 minutes, and I would throw that on if I had to do anything. Because I told Indeed laughed at me like you guys are now, but I'm like, you have to have a song like that in the fucking chamber, and I'm like, let's make it the most obscure bullshit.
Yeah.
If I gotta go use the restroom, I'll put 2 of those on, and then I just gotta go run, switch track, and then
So if I ever am listening to a show and I hear one of those songs, I'll be like, that person, that DJ. They're pooping.
They're pooping, or they're playing hacky sack, or they're smoking a cigarette, or
Yes.
all three if you're super talented.
Oh,
it's fucking
wow.
great.
Yeah.
We've kind of we've got into it. Like we're like 10 minutes in. Welcome, or 14 minutes in. Welcome everybody to Food for Worms. My name is Darien,
and I am Sam.
and today we're sitting with K God,
Oh god.
the big homie, the big little homie.
The big little homie
Yeah.
K God.
I call her K God, but she, the blue devil, Mama K, runner extraordinaire. She gets it. She goes for it. She does the picking up. She does the dropping off. She balances that shit. The alpha, the omega. Kelsey Gonzales, everybody. Clapping.
Can I
We're
clap for
clapping.
myself?
Everybody,
Clap
please
for
clap for
myself.
yourself. Hell yeah.
Okay.
Fucking gas
I'm
yourself up.
clapping
Let's
for
fucking go.
myself.
Yeah, we're kicking it with here with the homie. She's agreed to come on under a very specific circumstance. She's like, yeah, we have to talk about this and this and this. But if we talk about this, liar. I know that's not true. She was super chill and gracious.
Yeah, Darien's talking about himself in that regard.
Yeah. Secretly, everybody, I'm a huge diva and terrible to work with.
I never said that whatsoever.
I said secretly. I didn't say you said that.
He's a teddy bear. Don't listen to him. He's wonderful. He's a wonderful human.
He's a teddy bear, a wonderfully hard bear to
I
work
listen
with.
to hardcore music all the time. I wake up in the morning, I brush my teeth, hardcore music.
Metalcore bear.
Metalcore bear music.
Is that your soundtrack music? Like you just put toothpaste on the toothbrush and then right when it goes into your mouth, it's like
Yes, obviously, and then also I think it's like that. But when there's like a breakdown, then it's just like then I used to like hit the fucking molars really hard. Just get all gunker. It's fucking really intense.
Well, and then the pig squeals. That's when you blow out the
Yeah, but it's not like a it's like a it's terrible.
You have a spittoon in your bathroom that
of course.
Okay.
Especially the one that I'm currently staying in, so it's fine.
Ding.
Yeah. God. No, I'm like a 1820s fucking prospector. It's terrible.
I could see that for sure. You gotta get. I've been rocking the overalls for a while. You have to get a pair because then you'll be even more old school prospector.
No, thank you.
I've been trying to push my like what is this? My outfits onto you. The way I dress, my attire.
You're trying to push it onto me?
Yeah, like I'm trying to get you to fucking wear Crocs, but he won't rock Crocs.
You know what? I'm not going to talk shit about Crocs. I heard they were very comfortable. I would not wear them myself. It's not my cup of tea.
Can confirm that they're very comfortable. I only like Crocs in work settings, like non-slip Crocs. I wear those motherfuckers in the kitchen. I personally, my girlfriend's going to fucking scoff at this, but I would wear them like at home and maybe like in the first 10 feet away from my house. You would never catch me at the fucking grocery store in Crocs. and Crocs. It's just for me. It's just not. It's just as a pretty like.
Ow.
You just hit yourself in the face with the microphone.
I hit my head.
Anyway, yeah. But anyway, shout out to Crocs. We would love a sponsorship, despite everything I just said. So
yeah, we'll have Drew Barrymore come on and talk about Crocs.
Yeah, but you're saying you're trying to get me to wear Crocs.
Yeah, it's been like an inside joke. Like Brooke and I have talked about Crocs, and I've been like, I'm gonna get you a pair, and then you're like, no, I'm not. You're not gonna give me a pair. I'm not gonna wear them, and then so it was like a whole thing.
This reminds me of. Sorry, I just had like this flashback memory about Crocs.
Please.
But there was this hip hop artist who was playing at Ice House, and he had this whole song about Crocs, and everybody was getting into it. I mean, it was a pretty good song, but it was about Crocs.
Yeah.
We should have that song, and while the Crocs sponsor the show, then we can play that song in the background.
I like that.
Promotion.
Yeah. This girl knows what's up. She's in the promo game.
Kelsey, there is now an internship, an unpaid internship here at Food for Worms podcast. Would you like to work with us on promotion?
Oh, I thought you were gonna try to get her a job with Crocs. And
both, obviously. She'll just be our inside woman over there. It'll be amazing.
I feel like I dress nicer at home, and then when I go, like you said, grocery shopping. Like I went the other day. I'm wearing long johns, Crocs, my cutoff short shorts, and a flannel T-shirt, but that's what I'm rocking. And I have seen people be like, "The fuck is this guy about?"
No, listen, I'm in the produce section, bro. Like, what the fuck? You know what the fuck I'm about? Get my veggies on.
What does that have to do with your Crocs?
I don't know if it's just the Crocs.
That's a crock of shit.
Oh boy. Anyway, but yeah, we're talking about internships, and yeah, sometimes jobs in industry they start with an internship, sometimes they don't, and I've been very fortunate, and to be more of your story too, Kelsey, but like my internships, the two that I had, they were always very respectful of my time, and if I did anything extra, that was on me. Fortunately, no one was ever pressuring me to do more than what was appropriate, and they were always very like, get in when you can, let me know when you're going to be here, and then here's this thing that's appropriate to the job. Since I've been a little further along in the industry, I've been fortunate to have like 2 solid interns, and I try to be the boss that I wish that I had, even though my bosses were pretty cool to them. So it's like, cool, I come in, oh, tight, you need to do this internship for credit. Cool, let's say you were here all the time and you fucking got that shit and you gave you an A. fuck your school. So, but I don't know, that was my experience. How about you? You gave us more of it, but like, how did yours make you feel between first ad and the other one?
First Ave was so great. It really was. Like, Annie over there, she is absolutely amazing. She always made sure I would eat. Like, she would buy my food on her tab.
Hell yeah.
For me, and she would just be. It's really gross right now because I don't drink energy drinks or anything like that because it's crazy.
Yeah.
But they used to give me Red Bull all the time. They're like, "Oh, do you want some Red Bull?" And because I never used to drink coffee in my early 20s. I don't know why.
Me too. I feel that. Yeah.
I always used to drink Red Bull. I don't anymore.
Thank God.
Because that Like, I'm already like crazy. So, but no, they treated me so nice at First Ave, and I think I have like a loyalty to them now because of it. Like I absolutely love them so much, and it was just nice because either like working in that environment, like you were saying, it's like on me of how much I wanted to be there. They're just like, okay, we require you at least obviously one time a week because you are an intern, but if you want to come more, feel free. And I was just like, I want to come more. Yeah, it's great. And it's nice too because that gives you the opportunity for other people to see you working.
Yep. And
then they're like, oh, this person works their ass up.
Yeah.
Cool. I'm going to have them work on my crew.
Yeah.
Right. The more they see you there, like doing what you're doing, then they're like, okay, I'm aware of you more and more and more and more. So it keeps you in their brain for like, hey, do you want to do this for me? And then maybe that's some extra work you can get.
Now, that being said, I will say that not all internships are created equal. Not everybody else has always had the same experience between all these places that we're talking about.
Yeah, but that's any job, not just an internship.
For sure, but I'm just being specific about what we're talking about. It's like not everybody's always had the same experience. But with that being said, if we're just being real about what the old framework of what internship used to be, I think our generation was like the last generation who was like really in it. That was just like, no, like, sorry, I don't have a life. I'm gonna live here, basically.
Yeah.
It is about it. The whole like, it's not who you know, it's what you know, and it's not what you know, it's who you know, and that both of those things are true. And like you said, it's like when you're in the mix, when you're doing the work, even if it's not the work that person who's watching you is doing, it's but they want to know, do you have good judgment? Can they trust you? Does the people working around, do they trust you? And do you have a good feeling about somebody? Because like no one wants to work with an asshole that they can't trust in this in this world, and specifically in this industry. It doesn't matter how good of a job you are, no matter how many fucking contacts you have.
If you're an asshole, you're out, man.
If you're an asshole, no one wants to work with you.
I don't want to fuck with you.
Now again, with that being said, on the other side of that, plenty of assholes make it through.
I know.
and it sometimes it is what it is. Not talking specifically about our organizations that we've been with, but like just like it is what it is. And those people, they usually get found out eventually. So,
well, yeah. I mean, but like people can be that shows like their maybe not their work ethic, but like their way of getting things done. Like maybe those people that are shittier, you know, like they get things done even if they are shitty. Like I don't know, they made it happen.
Yeah, like I don't know, like Kelsey, you bring a whole other chaotic energy to this.
What was that?
It was her making a farting noise into the fucking thing.
Oh my God. That was to assholes.
Oh my goodness.
So the new Idols album, Kelsey and I, we share a very a love and fascination for the band called Idols.
Love them.
They are proper British hardcore. I've spoken about them before. This new album is different.
What was it? Different and
sexy.
Sexy and experimental.
Very. Yeah, they have a few different producers who use.
You said rough. You said rough before.
Thank you for correcting me with the words that I said earlier.
You asked, what did I say earlier?
Oh, sorry. So now I'm the asshole. Anyway, yeah, so the album is fucking incredible, and it's rough, and it's different, and I'm still trying to fucking wrap my head around it. I need to live with it some more. Yeah, no, it's rough, it's different. It's definitely a departure from what they usually do, because sometimes it's really fucking like, it's really thrashy and proper British punk, and you're just kind of like, what? In their own way, like they stand out in a way that I've never really gotten from other hardcore bands out of London and shit, but or not even London, just Britain.
Well, when I remember, like when I would work for them, that's how I figured out who they were. It's because I worked for them at First Ave, and I remember standing by the stage because you told me like you'll love them, and I was like, why will I love them? So I was standing by stage, and then they came out, and I was just like, oh my
God, yes, yes.
And I took out my phone and I was recording. I'm like, oh wait, I should only do a couple of recordings because I am working. Gotta remember, calm down. But I'm just like imagining like what they were on stage with that last album compared to like this album. What is it gonna be like?
Yeah,
and they definitely, because I haven't seen them live, but after I learned about them from Darien's T-shirt that he's wearing now, I was like, what? No, this is a fact. I said, what is that? You told me it's a band, and then you sent me links to the band, and then that is when I listened to it. What?
I think that I sent you links that night to their music the first time I saw them live, and I was so giddy. I was like, I have to share this with people. People need to know this.
Well, I missed that text message.
That's fine.
Wait, when did you
like
see them
2 years
live
ago.
first?
I saw them live in the main room at First Avenue. One of the first times that they played there.
Wait, was that the same time that I was working?
I think I mentioned them to you by then, but I wasn't freaking out about them at the time. Regardless, that band brings a whole other fucking energy that I had never felt before. It was like it was Go-Go Bordello level, 2000 circa 2013.
That's what I got from videos I've watched.
Dude, I'm
them
saying
playing
like
live.
the crowd turns into an amorphous blob.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
There is dancing. There is sweat. And if you want to shed about 30 pounds worth of fucking water weight, you go to a fucking to an idol show.
I stayed away from all the sweat.
Yeah, we do now because of
You stay away
this year. Yeah, we stay away.
Well, did you go to a show like recently of them?
They played here in the last like 2 months, right?
Pal Cedar.
Yeah, they played in the last 2 months, but I didn't go.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Was that them?
It was them. It was Minneapolis, St. Paul was their first stop on that tour.
Ah, okay.
Yeah, it was fucking dope. But yeah, but now they're doing this the U.S. tour. I think is wrapping up, but now fucking the new album Crawler just came out, which is probably should fucking give them some free promo.
Oh yeah, by the way.
Yeah, so then you really buy it now. It's on streaming services there. It's
on
just
all
different.
Streaming platforms, I think.
Yeah, show us your LinkedIn or your link tree.
Your LinkedIn.
Your LinkedIn.
Show us your LinkedIn.
That sounds really weird.
LinkedIn is the job website.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love motherfuckers trying to add me on there.
Do you add bands on LinkedIn?
No, but they're like, add me to your network. I'm like, we met once, Horatio.
See, that shit just confuses me. I'm like on a whole other level of overwhelmed when I'm on that because I'm like, what do you want me to look at
on LinkedIn?
Yeah, I'm just like, what is this? What are you talking about? I don't know what. I don't know. It very much so confuses me, and it just kind of overwhelms me.
Are you talking about LinkedIn, the jobs website, or Linktree, the link website?
LinkedIn.
Word. Yeah, no, it's a fun little.
I guess I mean I haven't used it a lot, so that's just how I feel about it.
I have a profile on there. I think most people have a profile.
I humor myself with it. Sometimes I'll log on and there are people messaging me, and I'm like, I'm so sorry. I probably won't answer you because I'm never on here. Never.
It's one of those apps that I have because I know I have an account, but I don't ever use.
Yeah, I think people really use LinkedIn if they're looking for a job. Sometimes it's like. And even then, you have to be really fucking mindful about what you're clicking on, because if there's one site that just kind of shows exactly what the fuck you're doing, it's LinkedIn. They'd be like,
yep.
Like, oh, recent searches by so and so. It's like, I don't like that I was on somebody else's search, and I hate that if I'm searching that they know that I was looking at them.
I sometimes we all do this. I'm going to point it out. It's not stalking. We all do this. If you give me your name, I'm going to look you up, okay? I need to know who you are and your face. I need to put the two and two together. Mm-hmm. So sometimes I accidentally do click on the LinkedIn profile because I'm like, oh, so-and-so, and I'm going really fast. And instead of clicking like, the normal thing like, oh, Facebook or Instagram, sometimes they don't have that. They have a LinkedIn. Yeah. And when you click on it, I found out that they can see you looking at them. Yeah. And that just makes things awkward when you meet in person. You're just like, oh.
Yeah, great.
You're staring at them from across the room now.
Yeah. You look familiar. Have I met you before? I don't think so.
Yeah, not at all. It's like, well, I saw me on LinkedIn. It's weird that you brought it up, Steven.
I mean, do you say the same thing about like, oh, I mean, I guess people probably do like, oh, I've seen you on Instagram. Is that like a thing that you hear from people?
Bro, yes.
Okay.
Yeah, like I honestly follow plenty of artists and just visual artists or just sometimes people that like, you seem interesting, follow, and then they're just passively on my timeline. And I've had a few folks that have been like, I got like a FaceTime from a mutual friend who is with them, and they're like, hey, I'm just hanging out with so and so, and they look at me, them, I'm like, they look at me, I'm kind of like, I was like, where do I know you from? I was like, Instagram Instagram.
Stutters.
Instagram. And then you know what I do? I move on with my motherfucking life. It's like
Thanks for the FaceTime.
Thanks for the FaceTime. This night, I was just calling to see where you're at. You're 20 minutes late, but clearly you're hanging out with Terry. So
yeah, Terry.
Yeah, it's always a Terry. We're gonna go on one quick break. I need to drink some more Lagunitas hot water and stare off into the abyss. Food Performance Podcast is sponsored by BetterHelp. Sam, you've been to therapy, right?
Yeah, it always helps my brain and my heart to get the weird, sad, scary stuff off my chest.
Yeah, man, the case of the sads comes at you fast, but yeah, without a healthy mind, being truly happy and at peace in this day and age is just hard. It truly is.
Well, and I mean, who wants to go to an office where you have to be by like a real life human?
Absolutely not. No, not in this meat body, sir. No, I'm not doing that.
Well, and then like the recycled air, just that you both have to breathe in each other's faces
to validate your parking and talk to Janice outside. No, thank you. To avoid that nightmare fuel, BetterHelp is a customized online therapy that offers video, phone, or live chat sessions with a licensed therapist. It's much more affordable than in-person therapy and can start communicating with the therapist in under 48 hours. That's nice, right?
Yeah. Yeah. This podcast is sponsored by BetterHelp, and Food for Worms listeners get 10% off their first month at betterhelp.com/foodforworms.
Goddamn right.
That's betterhelp.com/foodforworms.
Let me just crack open.
Let's crack it open. Everyone's drink them if you got them.
H2O.
Water sucks. It really, really sucks. Well, water sucks. It really, really sucks. H2O.
Yeah, what?
Gatorade. H2O.
Gatorade. I think that's one of Adam Sandler's most underrated films.
Which one is that?
That's Waterboy.
Oh.
Because he has to use.
Mama says.
Yeah, he has to use like mean things people have said to him to like as like fuel to like tackle motherfuckers. So like Henry Winkler before that's Fonzie for those of you that don't know. Sends him out on the field and he's like, water sucks. Gatorade is better. And then he's like, and then he looks at him like, what the fuck? And he's like, use it. Just go out on the field. And then he just goes and whips some ass because he pictures everybody as Henry Winkler. Telling him water sucks. And then they sing like an opera. It's a fucking great scene. It was
hilarious.
Very underrated Adam Sandler flick. That and Little Nicky are so underrated.
Oh, Little Nicky. I used to watch that all the time when I was little. I had no idea what the hell it was about.
And
I thought it was so funny. And then, like, now I look back, I'm like, why the hell was I able to watch that movie?
Henry Winkler is also in that. He's in when the demons come up later on, and then Rob Schneider, because he has to do something bad before he dies to go back to hell. And then Rob Schneider's like, sting Henry with bees. and then a beehive just comes up and hits Henry Winkler with bees, and he just gets a bunch of bee stings.
Like, I'm so sorry.
Sorry, Henry.
That movie, honestly, like Little Nicky, that was like that one and Dogma were the first films made me think like, hey, Satan's all right. Horns up, everybody. No, sorry, Mom. It was fine. She'd be so fucking mad if she heard me say that.
He's Mr. White.
Huh?
That's who plays him in I don't know the dude's name. He's some dude friends with like Tarantino and fucking Al Pacino and shit.
Great.
Dude, that one dude.
No one dude. Yeah,
but like Mr. White from Reservoir Dogs, that's who plays the devil in Little Nicky.
Oh, yeah. We were talking about him recently when we were who was it? Who was on when we were talking about he played Mr. Wolf in Pulp Fiction.
Yep. Yeah, he's the guy that has to get rid of the body.
He's like, I drive fast. He's like, oh my God, can we talk about that scene really quick? Hard pivot. So, imagine me and Kelsey, we're driving. We got Marvin in the back seat. Kelsey accidentally blows his fucking head off.
Can I be Marvin?
No. Do you want to have your head blown off?
I'm sitting here. I want to be in the story.
Okay, so Sam is Marvin. Kelsey accidentally...
Just call me Marvin. I'm Marvin.
Kelsey accidentally blows Marvin's head off. Sam.
Oops, I'm sorry,
Oops,
Marvin.
I'm sorry. And
I'm dead now. I can't say anything.
Yeah,
so.
me. Thank you. Me and me being Samuel L. Jackson. Oh man, what the fuck? I got a partner that lives over here in the hills. Let's pull up at his house.
Are you playing John Travolta's character right now?
No, she's playing John Travolta's character. I'm playing this one, and then all of a sudden you get there. And then let's say we're encroaching on somebody else's life who's just trying to have their coffee in the morning. Let's say this person is Bird. And Bird is just and Bird's just like, I need you to get this entire body out of my house before my wife gets home. Whatever happens, Mr. Wolf is like, hey. Oh no, they call Marcellus Wallace, who is, let's say, Jordan, and then Jordan and then Jordan sends Mr. Wolf, and then Mr. Wolf gets there, and he's being really curt with John Travolta's character. You guys remember that? And then he's just like, all right, we need to do this, and he doesn't say please. He's just really curt because they're in a really fucked up ass situation. Yeah. Oh, yes. And one of the things I remember this as a kid, and this was carried with me the whole time, is being like, John Travolta catching an attitude. John Travolta's character, who was Vincent Vega. Yeah. Is catching a fucking attitude because Mr. Wolf is being curt with him because he didn't say please, and he's just being like, yo, you need to do this so I can get you out of this really fucked up situation. That's clearly your fucking fault.
Right. You're lucky I don't smack you.
You smack you in the fucking head. And I remember the kid being like, yeah, Mr. Wolf's there to help. Like, why are you like
Harvey Keitel is the name. Harvey Keitel is the name of the actor.
He was also in National Treasure as the FBI guy.
That's such a random.
This conversation is random. Welcome to hell.
This is where we go. This is where we go. This is our show. This is what we fucking do.
Yeah. So all that shit happens, and I was remember being like, Mr. Wolf is there to help. The situation that's happening is clearly your fault, Mr. Vincent Vega. Why, Kelsey? Why did you feel a need to catch an attitude about how somebody's talking to you? We are already a gangster doing gangster shit. And you're mad that somebody didn't say, please help clean up the fucking bloody bits in the back of this car that's your fault. Kelsey, give me an answer.
Yeah, get my brains off the back of the car.
It was an accident. So
if this is what Vincent Vega looked like and they said it like that, then they're like, oh, okay.
It was an accident. Be nice to me.
Exactly.
Well, that's an acceptable answer. I am so sorry, Kelsey. Vincent Kelsey. So anyway, thank you everybody very much for sitting with us through that. One of our conversation topics, our big conversation topic, the main topic that we like to say, is a conversation on resilience.
Yes.
Yeah, the resilience of Mr. Wolf, the resilience of Vincent Vega, being a whiny little baby, the resilience and patience of the incomparable Samuel L. Jackson, and mostly the resilience of ourselves and the things that we do in this fucking world. If you're all familiar with the fucking word resilience is the ability to face setbacks and unforeseen events, obstacles, and failures without allowing them to dominate your butt, derail, or destroy your life. It is not about being unaffected by stress or pressure. It is about recognizing when you are affected by it and having coping strategies to manage it. We are not a what's it, like a therapist podcast. We are all three humans here who have all dealt with different shit. But
we only I try to only I never talk from a place of authority. Yeah, it's all from for sure. My loins.
From your
from my
your what?
From my loins.
Yeah, what do you mean what to me? I'm trying to get what you fucking said. Yeah, it all comes from me bits. Anyway.
Thanks.
You jolly bunch of fucking weirdos. What does it mean? What does it mean?
I'm Marvin.
You are Marvin. Clean yourself up, Marvin. You're bleeding. What does it mean to be resilient?
Basically, how we make our comeback after a setback.
Yes. Or like when someone's just like, you can't do it. And you're like, you know what? Fuck you, man. Yeah, I can.
Yeah. That's
you're like, look at me now. Huh? But then I'd still be like, I can't say that. I'd be like, look at me now. But also like, I would say originally, do you want a beer? But I don't drink. So do you want a water? A Gatorade?
Amazing. Okay, yeah.
I mean, I would still be like, I like bringing the conversation back to like assholes and like being resilient and stuff. You can't really, because if you act that way towards them, it's like never ending cycle. So I would say like steer clear of that. Like bro, you want a pair of Crocs? I got you. Like, I got you.
So it's like
Christmas, D.
So
Christmas.
Okay. Yep. Listen, if I'm getting 2 pairs of Crocs, I'm gonna fight both people that got them for me. I appreciate it. But
one's gonna say Darien, and the other one's gonna say Washington. It's gonna be custom made Crocs.
Thank you. I can't wait.
Yeah.
So what you're saying is your form of resilience is sometimes being the bigger person.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or like if something absolutely horrible happens to you, I give props to people if something super traumatic or absolutely awful happens to them. Them taking the time to like manage their mental health and understand themselves as a person, like doing shadow work and understanding what triggers you and why it triggers you, like from past traumas or from traumas like you're not even aware of, and just dealing with those and becoming a healthier version of yourself, and then getting back out there and anything that held you back before, you don't let it hold you back now. Kind of like that.
Yeah.
Getting in deep there.
Yeah, no, that's fucking it's beautiful because it's true. Because it's like once you do that work, it's like the thing about with grief and pain, where it's like the pain doesn't get smaller. You grow around it.
Yeah, and healing and pain and trauma, all that shit is not linear. So people have to understand that too. It's like some days you're gonna have a bad day.
Yep.
And it's okay to rest. It's okay to like just take some time for yourself. Mental health is important. Mental health is very important, and I think now we're finally starting to understand that, and which is really nice. I think, like, fuck the pandemic, fuck COVID, but also it was really nice to sit and look at yourself in the mirror and go, oh man, now that I'm not moving so much, I have to deal with all my shit.
Yeah.
There's a lot of shit here that I have to deal with.
Yeah. No. Oh my God. Thank you for saying that, because oh my God, Kelsey, that you were one of my great friends, but when you and I, we do have those sit down talks and we do talk about this stuff, I feel like you and I, we say the quiet parts in the back of our heads out loud to each other more often than not. And I'm always like, you name things that I'm not always able to articulate to myself. So thank you for that. You're wonderful.
You're welcome. It's kind of like with yourself too. It's kind of like a mind boggling fight with yourself as well, like resilience, like towards yourself. Because a lot of times you have that voice inside your head where it's like, oh, you can't do it, or remember when this happened to you, or this is going to happen to you. Kind of like anxiety or
well, and that's where my brain was kind of going with it, is because like I'll have my highs and my lows, like mental health wise, depression, anxiety, things like that, and like something that like impacts your day, and then just like knowing or like getting to that place where you have gone through it. It's just hard to get yourself to like get there and do it, but you have to push on. So it's like same with your mental health, same with like getting a task done to change something fucked up that's going on or whatever. It's hard, but then once you start it, I think you just automatically start feeling better. Yeah, it's like cause and effect, I guess. Yeah.
So is that your answer to what resilience means to you?
Oh no, it wasn't.
Well, you're adding on to what Kelsey said.
Oh, sorry.
Okay. What does don't apologize. I'm clearly the dumb here. What does resilience mean to you?
Well, I mean, I guess that's just how I was relating to what you're saying.
Yeah.
Sorry but I mean, I don't know. I guess just finding a way to come back from maybe a hiccup or like a misstep or like losing your footing. If that's like a weird way of saying it, you know, like just like I feel like the times we find ourselves that like we will be the most resilient is the time that we're probably the weakest or at a low point, whether you lost a fucking job or you know somebody passed away or anything that you can get you fucking down. You're lower, than you thought you ever could be, even though maybe you've been lower before. Like it's just getting yourself to get the energy and kind of move past something that could be traumatic and whatever. It's fucking hard. And it but that's why it feels good when you've taken care of it or addressed it or tried to at least.
When you got to the other side of it and shit.
Yeah,
man. No, it's
and that's with so many different things. You could fucking talk about like a big thing is like working out and dieting. Like I've been trying to not eat sugar, And I get fucking pissed at myself when I fuck up, and Halloween just happened, and then the whole month of November happened. So it's like, no, I've just fucked off on like not eating sugar, and now it's like I got to get back to that. That's like a form of resilience. Like I fucked up.
Yeah, like like setting like personal goals.
Exactly.
And things for you.
Being more responsible and like deliberately keeping myself to things that I say that I'm going to do. I feel like that's like a form of resilience, like putting expectations of yourself, not unrealistic ones, because that's just gonna fucking piss you off even more.
So you're saying like resilience is a long game?
For sure.
Yeah.
I think so. Yeah. I mean, because I think a lot of stuff stacks up that could get you to a spot that you need to like come back from. You know what I'm saying? Like either it's a bummer or a spot that you just don't enjoy.
Resilience for me, like hearing both of you guys talk about it is like, I'm not trying to like jack what y'all said, but like like when you're talking about something and you hear someone else talk about it, then all of a sudden what you're talking about, like it's an essence of both of those things. Resilience is just fucking the world pushing down on you and then you planting your feet.
Yeah.
And it's being like, and it's like, move. And it's like, no, you fucking move.
Yep.
I'm not moving from this spot.
Moving from this fucking spot. And there's been so many times where I'm like, where it's either it's like gigantic life transitions or just a fucking or life transitions or life happening, or there was or a chemical fucking imbalance in my brain, and all of a sudden I'm like having a super fucking low that I can't pinpoint, and it just is. And just not letting it and that one of the things I had to learn over a long time is like learning to live with that for a little bit, and then like being like, because you have to I had to let those feelings process, because if I just try and make them go away, then I'm all of a sudden it's like, all right, well, hey, let's put this away, and then it'll sneak out sometime during something really awesome, and then it'll be bad.
Like
for myself later.
But like sitting in the chaos or anxiety or whatever it is, and then like, okay, I had to like sit in that to figure out now what's my next step here.
Yeah, because it's like there's a level of escapism that I feel like our like it happened in every generation, but I feel particularly in our generation that like we are both. There's one part of our population that's like, good times only, guys. Fucking like, don't let bad shit get you down.
Toxic positivity.
Yeah, it's like it's like, no,
which I think doesn't always exist. Like I think it's a lot of bullshit sometimes that people. And I'm not saying don't put positive shit out there, but sometimes it can come off that way.
Yeah.
When you can tell someone is like, I don't know, are you really having that good of a fucking day right now?
Are you having that good of a time? Really? You're telling me that not one thing isn't just actually, because sometimes the small shit can fucking cascade into a big shit.
Like I know people are always like, oh, put a smile on, happy, be positive. Some people are like genuinely like that, which like I'm not trying to like
tear
drag
them
you down.
And
Yeah,
shit,
exactly. Like you are who you are, but I'm just saying like sometimes I just want someone to sit with me and be like, you know what? It's a shitty fucking day.
Yeah.
I'm your homie. I'm going to sit with you. We're just going to cry together. It's going to be great.
Yeah. It's a shitty day. It's a shitty life. and it'll be okay.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's been a very like hard, or maybe no, but that's been a tough thing for me to like learn to deal with, is to sit in the stuff that makes you feel uncomfortable.
Yeah.
And then like I was saying, it's hard to make that first step to get where you want to be, to get you out of the hole. It's fucking hard. But once you start it, it's like getting out of bed when you're super fucking depressed or you have a major hangover. Like, I got to get out of bed or this day is not getting fucking better at all. So let's do it.
Yeah, so going back to what Kelsey said earlier about the having to sit down and stop moving. Like Kelsey said earlier during our early parts of our conversation, Kelsey has had a storied fucking career, just all over the fucking place, constantly fucking working. Just the grind is real. If there was an avatar that came down from the fucking the fifth dimension that's like bring down my avatar. There would be a gigantic fucking red light hanging over Kelsey's fucking life right now, because she fucking kills that shit. But she kills the shit, and is easily one of the hardest working people I've ever met, and me also being in the vicinity of also fucking having 40 million different fucking things happening at the time pre-pandemic.
You're so busy.
I was. but actually once everything stopped and like really like looking at myself, I was like, fuck, man.
You kind of like, and like right when it happened to, and when you had to stop, it was kind of like, you know, like in a video game when there's like characters just like walking around like back and forth, like hitting walls and stuff and like glitching. That's kind of what it felt like.
Yeah, it was fucking stir crazy because for you and me, it was a hard stop.
Yeah.
It was a hard fucking stop. It was 5, sometimes 6 days a week of something. If there was a day off, we don't get days off. We get chunks of time off sometimes.
Yeah.
And that's not because someone's making us do that. That's by fucking design of our own lives. But then going from that to all of a sudden being home all the time, I definitely had to stop and just look at me like, who am I when I'm not doing this business? Like I always felt like I was doing, and this is an aside. We have other questions I was going to get to, but like
aside.
Thank you, Sam. Just stopping and looking at who I am, and then knowing that it's not gonna pick up again anytime soon, and then going through this whole transformational process. Like I don't ever want to be that busy again, because no matter what, no matter what the grind was, because like no matter what, we made fucking gains in our career. Like I feel like even the little bit of running I got to do, I had a whole different idea of what it meant to be a runner, and all these different jobs, they transform how you look at your job in the first place. Like I can tell you right now, it's like being a tour manager. I was a runner. I'd be like, tight. I know exactly how to fucking do this shit. I know what to look for. I know how to make the shit easier for them, so it's easier for fucking me. But I send somebody like a Word document that just goes down and all.
Please don't do that.
Please don't fucking do that. But it's like it's all these different jobs that gave me it gave us different windows into different parts of the industry that helps inform our day jobs, so we have more empathy and understanding, so we can be more efficient. Mm-hmm. And then all of a sudden that being like, cool, that's where that stop ends. You're going to be kicking at home. You're going to see what's going to happen. And then you have to wonder like who you are when you're not working.
It's fucking hard.
Yeah.
I didn't think it would be that hard, but it was really hard.
It was really fucking hard.
I was like, I know it's still ongoing and everything, but I think that's like the most positive thing to come out of these past couple of years is that it did kind of like, you know, stop me in my tracks and be like, hey, you have to address these things and maybe start to take better care of yourself, either whether it's mentally or physically, or like, hey, what's something that you haven't been doing with your time, but you've been telling yourself for years that you want to do this thing, or like, I don't know. It just makes you think of, how could I be a little bit more productive for me, not just in this life that I walk around in my meat body? You know what I'm saying?
But here's the beautiful thing. I know we're talking about this, but I think that's a fucking thing for so many different fucking people out in the world.
Oh, for sure.
Because like now they're saying there's a work shortage. Like, no, it's not a worker shortage. There is a shortage of decent paying fucking jobs. You motherfuckers need to pay people better and treat them better. Like there are people in the fucking food industry that are like absolutely fucking not, because they saw the other side of that shit being like, it doesn't have to be that way. And so many people and so many employers just don't, they wanted to go back. And then some people who are arguing bad faith, they're like, oh, well, these people are just lazy. It's like, no, because you treat your fucking employees like shit and you pay them like shit. Sometimes, like, no matter what, and this is a rant now, this is an official rant, but it's like, if you actually treat your people well and you try to pay them well, and you act in good faith, and you're being, like I said, cognizant of people's lives and not just making them feel like shit if they're not there.
Right.
They'll probably want to work there. But if you don't even do that shit, then they definitely don't want to want your stinky ass, dirty ass, underpaying job. Go fuck yourself. So yeah. And
sorry.
Oh no, go ahead.
But there's gonna be two sides of every corn.
Amazing. Keep going. No. No one left. It was good. Keep going.
But either employees that understand. Yeah, we're just gonna ignore that corn. But no, either employers.
Flip the corn.
Either employees that understand what's going on in your life, or people that are completely oblivious of it and want to just go back to how it was before, you know, you were stopped in your tracks and had to, you know, live in your own self in your life. You know, like there's gonna be one or the other, and it's yeah.
Sorry, Kelsey's like still laughing over the corn thing.
Sorry,
It's amazing.
I don't know where that came from.
No, it's so wholesome.
What were you thinking of when you said corn?
The other coin. But no, speaking of corn, my buddy Cody and I, we were talking years ago about how we should start the website Corn Hub, and have it be a website all about corn, and I guess Pornhub owns the rights to Corn Hub.
Do you think you can get it from them?
I highly doubt it. They'd be like, no, we need this money, because I think for a prank one year on like April Fool's Day or some shit, they switched it so that everything would be directed to the website of Podcorn, and they made up a whole website of corn videos.
Amazing.
To like fuck with their users.
Yeah,
I think that is hilarious if that's true. Maybe it's just a story. But I remember hearing that Podcorn's a spot.
Cornhub?
Cornhub.
Thank you.
Podcorn, Cornhub.
God damn.
But Cornhub's a spot, you know.
Yeah, somewhere
to find pictures of corn.
A sex addict had a really bad day. Anyway, so the next
There's
question.
other spots you can find your thing if you got to do it.
That's what she said. So the other question that we're in there, as we're talking about resilience and getting completely and wholesomely sidetracked, where does that little voice or energy come from that helps you bounce back and keep going? Like when you are hit with that, like, it's all bad, and then you feeling yourself like getting back up. Like, where do you think your voice comes from? And if you don't have a voice, it could just be like your knee starts fucking aching, or I don't know.
Isn't it like kind of odd if you really think about it? There's like a person inside you that you talk to.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Like,
no, it's not odd. That's what I'm gonna say. Sorry.
Or multiple.
Multiple voices.
I mean, like, I just envision. Okay, this is I don't know if anybody else does this, but I just envision in my head where there is like two tiny me's in my head, and one's arguing and was like, "You're a badass. You're amazing. You're brilliant.
I love that.
Get up. We can do this." And the other one, like, is just like, "I'm sad though, and I don't know if I can." And the other one, like, grabs me and was like, "You're amazing," and like shakes me. And then I'm like, "Okay." And then it's like, "Here's a lollipop. Let's get going." And then I'm like, "This is great."
Hell yeah.
And that's kind of like what I just like argue with myself in my head.
All right. So when you're arguing with yourself in your head, it comes down to, like, depending on which one of those voices for Kelsey is like which one's at the wheel. And sometimes it depends on, like, sometimes it's you don't know, and it's not till you try to engage in. It's
that's the third person, where the third person's like, "I'm having an issue," and then the one is like, "Oh no," and then the other one's like, "No, you can do it."
And then their head catches fire.
Yep.
That's real. I guess so. Like when you that's your voice. So I guess it's like when you're guiding it and when you're looking for it, is there like something that you, I guess you answer the question. You fucking shake yourself. You're like, "Let's fucking go.
Let's do it.
Let's fucking go." All right. Hell yeah.
But also, like, pep talks, you know, self-love. Self-love is a huge thing. Mm-hmm. Just like pep talk. Like, if you're really, really having a bad day, it's just like, "Here, myself, let me cuddle myself and tell you it's okay. I'm gonna pet your head." It's great.
A lot of times the like negative downer dude in my brain will like Shank the positive happy one in my mind.
He's
and
like, just go to fucking sleep.
I don't think I have like a positive happy one. I think it's more just like yelling like affirmations. You know,
"You're great." I know, thank you.
But I don't think my brain does that.
I think everybody's brain is different.
Yeah,
I guess like you both have voice. You both
You're
have
happy. Your normal self. Shank's the happy one. That's
and then holds him underwater until there's one last bubble.
No, I'm saying like sometimes, but like other times, you know, the other guy tackles him and gets the knife out of his hand, and then he's like, "You got this, Sam." And then the other guy's like, yeah. And then that's a little more dark. But you know,
it is.
There's death. There's death out there in the world.
Yeah, no, I feel that. I guess I've also had like little. Sometimes it's a source of energy, and it's just sometimes it's just like just get it fucking done, and sometimes that comes down to like what I have to do to get through whatever task is in front of me. But when it just comes out to being like, emotional well-being, and I'm just not feeling too hot, and like I said, sometimes like a chemical imbalance is like sometimes you just feel like shit, and it's just that what it is. But it's like I do so much. I did and I still do sometimes so much self-deprecation that I will sometimes convince myself that I don't deserve good things, and then I have to. Then I also attribute that to just being like, just because sometimes it's funny, like when you just brag on yourself a little bit. Sometimes it really is just funny. But one of the things I'm learning is that like sometimes like your inner voice is listening to that, and you can't keep being mean to yourself all the time.
They continue to feed into like those voices. Continue to feed into that same thing.
The same thing
that you've been hearing from yourself, your internal monologue. Like so often that it's just like shut the fuck up, but you continue to fucking say it to me. And I get that.
Yeah, and it's just like being mindful to be kind to myself, and if I do end up like talking to myself, because like you, Kelsey, if there was a camera, and if there is a camera usually, but if there was a recording of the way that I'm like doing work sometimes after different conversations for just work, it would just be like, oh, God, fucking, I'm just like without telling on myself, it's just always like just the way that I talk to myself when things are happening. It's just like, I'm like, maybe I could do this. It's like, well, why the fuck would that be a thing, Darien? What the fuck is wrong with you? But it is what it is. But it's like but I feel like I'm getting better at being more mindful to not be mean to myself and to do not like a. I don't want to say I do a pep talk to myself, but I will definitely just be like, I would just do a very light reset on where I'm at right now, because like this mindset isn't helping me right now, and it's like it's consciously taking the wheel and guiding myself through whatever my thought patterns are to get to a point where I'm not like just being like, oh, you're a piece of shit. But then like again, like sometimes I do it it's a bit. And then I'm just doing it because it's a little bit funny and not because I'm like actually think I'm a bad person. I'm just like sometimes just kind of like, yeah, like Darien's telling us dum-dums barbecue stories this time. Everybody's kicking it. Barbecue fork tails. Wednesday night Central Time.
Well, because that's the way that you express yourself with other people as well. Like you'll do that, and I feel like it's funny in that regard. Yeah. So then you correlate that with being like, oh, it's still funny if I just do it to myself, right?
While I'm alone and no one else sees me. Yeah. It's like,
am I laughing? Yeah, no.
and then but not doing that anymore, because it's like it does fucking, it weighs on. Oh yeah, negative talk weighs on you, and the more you do it, it fucking hurts. So but it's like when I do I guess outside of that, when I do feel like my resilience overdrive coming in, then it's like it turns into like a let's fucking go, because sometimes it's just like it doesn't matter how you feel about it, it has to get done. Like I can tell you right now, and with fucking the festival for the longest fucking time, I'm telling you right now, like between March and May, it is a fucking slug. It is a slug, and it is chugging along. And okay, imagine a fire-breathing slug with swords in its mouth. Yeah. And you can see it coming at you from miles and miles away. And every day it gets a little bit closer.
And you're continuously yelling like, no, in your head.
Yeah.
No one else can hear it, and it's going off in your brain, but you're still like typing on the computer, like setting everything up. All at the same time.
The whole
you're
time.
Watching the slug. It's in your brain.
Yeah, and then when the fucking thing finally gets there, it's actually really fucking dope. And a lot of the things that happen because you did it, Kelsey. No, dead ass. It's like, and I say that about myself too. It's like, it's because it is a fucking big ass group effort, but it's a big ass fucking big machine. And knowing that I'm working with people that I love and trust has always been really fucking important to me. But those are the times where it's like when there are 2 tours on the road and there's a festival happening at the same fucking time, and I'm working at First Avenue, and it's just kind of like, what am I gonna do now? Oh God, it's coming.
But it's just like the satisfaction at the end. What, like during it, it's just like, okay, but I'm doing this because I love it so much. But oh my God, this is so much. But then I think it's that satisfaction at the end is why we keep going back, because at the end when we all get together and when we cheers our glasses and just are like, we fucking did it. And when we're sometimes asleep on a golf cart just carrying scissors flowers across the parking lot, sometimes, you know, that's just the satisfaction at the end is just the best part. Just being around everybody and being like, we all came together and we all put this amazing little piece of sunshine up for everybody to see.
Mm-hmm. And everybody had most people had a good time until they're like, we're here reading the comments, and it's like, cool.
You weren't even there, Greg.
Shut up, Greg.
Yeah. So, like, what are some of your takeaways that you've had after particularly trying times that you feel like benefited to you, but that benefited you after, like, when resilience has happened? Now you're on the other side of the things. What's one glaring lesson that's like, I did not have this tool before, and because I got through this thing, I have this tool now, and I know how to address this situation if it happens again. Because sometimes, I think you said it right there. Mm-hmm. Like, once you've been through something once, you can like tell yourself, oh, okay, this wasn't that bad last time.
Yep. You know what I mean? Like, so when you have a setback and you're like in a down place or like stressing or whatever, it's easier once you've been through it once before.
So experience.
Experience. But I'm asking like for specificity. Like what is like one specific thing that you're like, you don't have to get into the story, but being like, after you got through something, you're like, oh wow, okay, fuck. I did it.
Well, I do have one like particular story of why I am at like in Minneapolis and like at the label today. Mm-hmm. But it's like a dark story. But basically, it will just like sum it up. I got out of an awful relationship where the relationship told me that I wouldn't amount to anything, and I wouldn't get the dream job I wanted. I wouldn't thrive in the music industry. All of like the negative, toxic things that someone could say to you. Mm-hmm. And at this point, it was like to the point where I was like sitting on the floor and this person was hovering over me telling me these things. And that's a really low point because you already feel low enough, but as you're like literally the lowest to the floor, and this having someone that you love tell you this stuff, it's kind of very disheartening. And specifically, they told me that I would never work at the label. I would never move to Minneapolis. I would never do all these things, right? And so then once I got to the point and worked my ass off from like not having a place to live, basically living out of my car for 3 months, like couch surfing, having like a part-time job, full-time job at a retail place, like quitting college, and then all of a sudden just saving up every single cent I have and having like 2 internships and 9 jobs all at the same time. Then I was just like, all right, I'm just going to work my ass off and see where it gets me. And I'm not going to like, this person said this, but I know I'm not this person. And it took me a really long time. And I'm still learning to love myself and understand myself better and everything that I went through. Because like, again, I said, I'm summing up the story pretty small. But it gets to that point where now I'm actually in Minneapolis working at the label, and I have been for like 5 years or something, 4 or 5 years, and working at First Ave for like 6 or 7 years now. And looking back at that, and it's just, I wish I could tell everybody, you know what, those people, you cannot listen to them. Like, I know at the time, like, it seems like, oh, this person that I love is telling me this, it must be true, and then you are being awful to yourself. But you'll look back, like I am right now, but you'll look back and you'll realize, like, wow, this is really what resilience is, because through that timeline, all this other shit happened, but that was like my breaking point, and now I'm really here and I'm really doing this, and like I am totally getting off topic, but I'm just saying that resilience is just like you keep moving forward. And I think like something happens like in our lives that we always think back to that one moment, and sure, maybe it's like considered trauma, but it also could just be considered a special event in our life that we always look back to that memory and reminisce on it, reminisce on it, and then realize like that is the one thing that like pushed us forward. So even if that was like a really shitty situation and like fucked up in so many levels, that was the one thing that we needed to just get us to this point.
Right.
And then all of a sudden we're like, oh my God, I didn't understand it at that time, and I'm still understanding it now. But that was one of the reasons why I got to this point and actually like did the thing.
Right.
You know?
So it's like a trauma springboard?
Yeah.
Or
Exactly.
it's like the launching point. It's just like, yeah. Sorry, I'm not trying to make light of that, but it's just true.
It's true.
A trauma springboard.
But it's like a lot of springboards. It's like multiple springboards. You're just springing along.
Hop into another one, yeah.
Yep.
No, that's a beautiful way of looking.
And
at
you're
it.
in the air and you're like, woo! And then you get to the other one and you're like, damn it! But then you get back up and you're like, woo!
Yeah. No, there's so much. Life is just like you said, the springboard. It's the springboard, and once you launch, you don't know where the fuck you're gonna land.
Right.
I'm here. I'm gonna enjoy it.
And then it's like sometimes like maybe you land, and then sometimes the landing is graceful. Sometimes the landing is
maybe you hit a wall. Maybe you break your finger, leg.
Yeah.
You know.
Kelsey, like I don't know. I feel like that's the chair. That's the bow. That's the bow on the conversation. Are you okay with having the last word?
I love bows.
I know.
They're so pretty.
And we love you. Oh my God.
I don't know why I thought of Donatello's bow staff, and I was like, what?
I'm also like, what?
What?
Jesus Christ. God.
I feel like I just rambled.
You did not ramble. You were very poignant. Okay, poignant's the wrong word. You were very vulnerable, and you spoke about something that had a lot of deep-rooted hurt, but you told us how you learned from it. You answered the question in a very beautiful way.
Oh, thank you.
So thank you very much.
Yeah, I thought that was more of a mic drop moment.
Yeah.
So
like
oh, thank you.
Yeah.
That's what it sounds like when I
Was
drop a microphone.
oh God.
Yeah.
You should get into Foley work, Sam.
Into what?
It's the sound when like we do movies and they just make sounds and.
Oh yeah.
But no, it's not just with your mouth. It's just like if you're like doing a car door closing, you make that sound in front of a microphone as the movie's happening. So you're like actual like things, and then all of a sudden.
Yeah, to do a galloping horse, you got to do it with the coconuts,
Yeah.
like in Mel Brooks's. Or no, that's Monty Python. Monty Python and the Holy
Sure.
Grail.
Oh, they had the bunnies. They had the bunnies that ate people, right?
Yeah. All right. Kelsey Gonzales, God, Bunny Whisperer.
Thank you.
Mama K. Runner extraordinaire. Fucking just artist liaison.
Where's the K-God come from?
Me.
Okay, cool.
No, Kelsey's such a wonderful person. I'm just kind of like I've never not once not answered a phone call from Kelsey. I'm like, what? I'll answer like that, but it's like, what's up? You need something?
No, that's how he answers the phone when I call. What?
Thank you for being here. Thank you so much for being here.
Yeah, thank you for coming and hanging with us.
We appreciate you.
Oh, thanks for having me.
Yeah, having this very fun conversation about resilience, but then also talking about internships and all that shit, because it's for me it's been a pleasure to watch you grow, and then both of us kind of doing we've had a similar trajectory in a bunch of different ways, and it's when you and I sit down, we talk about it. I'm like, oh shit, because I like you for a new for a laundry list of other reasons, but then I'm always like, when you and I talk, I'm kind of like, oh no, me and Kelsey, we've kind of done fucking just the same, not the same, but like a similar path and the same shit. So I just want to. It's always there's a kindred spirit between the both of us, and I think it's living in my head, sometimes it's living in your head.
I think that's why, I think that's why we have both the same jobs. Literally, we both work at the two same. Oh wait, God damn it, Darien.
I'm sorry.
I thought that you my brain just reverted to Darien lives in Minneapolis. But
I do not, but
hey,
we had a good time.
At least we had a good night in the attic, and he's in town, and we get to see him in his body and stuff.
Cool. In my meat body, and not my disembodied voice on the other thing.
Yeah,
but
not your robot body.
But hey, I would. This is like a formal invitation. If ever if I can't make it or Sam can't make it and we need to record, would you want to come on sometimes and just be a co-host sometimes? Can we do that with Kelsey? Yeah.
I like that we just turn into the monkey clapping the cymbals.
It's terrible.
Were you just doing that hand squeak thing?
Yeah, with the farting.
I don't know. Old people always did that, and I never could do it.
Anyway, we're all going to hell.
Have you ever been able to do that in rhythm?
No. Thank you all so much for joining us. If you want to submit any questions or topics, head to bit.ly/FFW grab bag or contact us at foodforwormspodcast@gmail.com. For more existential humor, remember to rate and subscribe to Food for Worms on Apple Podcasts, Spotify Podcast, or wherever you listen to podcasts. You could be anywhere you choose to be here for some ungodly fucking reason, and we appreciate the shit out of you for that. Always check on your strong friends. Tell your people you love them. Kelsey, we love you. And remember that you can't take any of this with you, so don't be a fucking prick.
Don't be a dick.
Just don't be a dick. Like, you don't, it's too much energy just being mean sometimes.
Yeah. Assholes.
This has been Food for Worms. Thank you for being here, Kelsey. We love you. Sam, I love you.
Love you, T.
All right. This was nice.
I love all of you so much.
This is the song that never ends, and it goes on and on, my friends. I started singing it, not knowing what it was. The people, why you stop singing it forever? Just because this is the song that never ends, and it goes on and on, my friends. People started singing it, not knowing what it was. People started singing it forever just because. Sorry, everybody. Sam, keep all of this in. Play it out now. Start the music now.
The Food for Worms podcast is a hella rad production.
It is recorded and mixed by Samuel Sarver.
Executive producers are Darien Washington and Samuel Sarver.
Theme music is Muffins by Dresden the Flamingo.
Find us wherever you get your podcasts and like, subscribe, and leave a review.
Because we need those reviews.
We do, and it helps people hear our stuff.
It pushes us right to the top. But on top of that, we also get that sweet ass validation. Sam, have you felt validated lately?
Sometimes.
I recently took up this new moniker. Play with me in this space.
What's your new moniker?
Validation Highlander. I used to be chopping fucking heads off, man. So stupid.
Fuck them bullies.
Fuck them bullies. You get it validated, and you get it validated.
And you, and you, and you.
Do you feel seen?
I'll cut your head off.